once again, good morning, everyone. We're so glad to see you. Over in the chat, there are two different things for you. The first of which is a link to the slides. You'll notice that it's slightly different than what was shared out via email yesterday. That was my typo, I'm sorry. It should be RCNNOV17. So that's going to get you to our slides for today. That is already linked over in the chat box. And then you'll also see a link for attendance. I'm going to share my screen for this here just for a moment, just so we can kind of talk you through. You'll notice that our attendance is slightly different. We are drilling down much further into like your actual building and whatnot. That is because the state support team is no longer using STARS. And so we need to know, they need to know some of that information. So that's why you'll see like, what county are you in? What school district are you in? What building are you in? We know that this adds a little bit extra and we're sorry for that. But like I said, because there's no, because it's not using the STARS system, the secretaries at State Support Team 9 need to kind of be able to direct based on your individual building. So we appreciate your patience with that. Like I said, it shouldn't be difficult. It just is, one or two extra steps. So sorry for that. All right. I can see it's 11:02. So let's go ahead and get started with our meeting. Amanda and I are here with you today. I'm super happy to see all of you. This is our November meeting for the year 2022. For today's meeting, we have several things that we will make our way through. The first of which, just some welcome, some housekeeping things. Second, Amanda's going to talk a little bit about the dyslexia legislation coursework that's out there and available for all of you. The third part, and my favorite part of this meeting, we are going to break up into some groups and get you all chatting, have those meaningful conversations with your fellow coaches, learn from each other. And then in the last section, I have a few things that I'll share out with you. Since we are not going to be together in December when the holidays are, I figured we should probably have something like that now. And I'm calling it Gifts of the Magi. So it's sort of like Magi, if you're familiar with the, Three Wise Men and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I'm a wise man or putting myself in that category. It was just letters that fit. So we're going to go with it. But lots of really good stuff going on for our meeting today. You'll notice that our slides are fully editable. And over on the outsides, I'm going to stop sharing full screen here. On the outsides of this slide, there are little acorns ready for you. So how are you feeling today? We are obviously really great it is really great to see you, but we just kind of want to get a flavor for how you're feeling today. So if you would like, you can grab one of those acorns over on the left or the right hand side. It's all the same, the words are the same, and you should be able to click and drag an acorn into the proper bucket, help fill up that squirrel. This will also kind of tell us how everybody is doing here today. So I will stop talking and start watching acorns. You can put them anywhere in the bucket. If they overlap, that's great too. But like I said, this will be kind of a good way for us to gauge where everybody's at today. I am happy to see everyone. I am anxious for holiday planning, and it's okay to be more than one thing. You can see our squirrel friend has already stuffed his cheeks full of good things. I'm not sure where you may be calling in from. However, here at our office, the snow is falling. The friends are calling. Yoo-hoo. My tires slid on the way to work today, so apparently that's a thing that's going to start happening now. But all right, seeing some stress, seeing some thankfuls, that's always good. I'm the only happy one here in the meeting today. That's sad, but hopefully we'll have some good stuff and make everyone a little bit happier as we get to hang out and talk with each other. All right. I'm going to jump back into our present mode, but you keep moving those acorns over as you see fit. But like I said, it's just kind of a fun way, a different way to gauge where everybody is at here to start our meeting. All right, as we do most often as we start our meetings, just wanted to share some resources with you where you can find things. As a reminder, we have a website ready and available for you. This website has all kinds of good things on it that will help you in your current role. I also wanted to let you know that yesterday you should have received an email from me that was sent out to our Google group. That is not exclusive, meaning that's not just something that I send out to and Tada magically makes its way there. You all have the power to send an email to that group. So if you need help with anything, if you're trying to bounce ideas, if you're looking for a collaborator, if you want to work together with somebody, email that group or visit Google Groups, and you can contact everyone, as you are looking for more help. So if you don't see things that you need on our website, and you want to make your way over to that group, that would be awesome. There's an email address that you can shoot out directly from your Gmail or whatever other product you might be using. You can email that directly, or you can go into groups and it creates kind of like that message board format for you. So hopefully that will have all the good things that you need to basically help bridge the gap. So we know that we see you every other month, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be connected to our network, in that off month, so to speak. So please, by all means, have that conversation, even if it's just like a reassurance of, hey, I'm super stressed out right now. Is anybody else feeling this way? Just to connect to other people. Okay. All right. So moving into our next section, I'm going to turn it over to my dear friend, Amanda.
Okay. Hi, everybody. For this section of our meeting, I mainly just wanted to get resources in your hands and make sure everybody was kind of up to speed on where we're at with all of this work. So Matt, if you could go to the next slide. This is just a really simple menu. I resisted the urge to overcomplicate this and have a bunch of graphics and lots of talking points here. Mainly, I just want you to be able to get to this good stuff. So first of all, I'm sure many of you are aware that the dyslexia course is available now, and it's in the Ohio's LMS system through the Ohio ID, OHID accounts. So if you click the LMS link here, it's going to take you to a page on ODE's website that kind of gives an overview of the LMS courses. That's where you'll see those coaching courses that we shared with you at our first meeting. So if you have enrolled in those courses, you have some experience in how this process is going to work for enrollment in this dyslexia course as well. Just in case you're a little rusty or you didn't end up enrolling in those coaching courses, you'll notice that the second link here in the middle on the top gives you directions. So ODE has created a document that walks you through enrolling in the course. It also gives an overview of those 11 modules, as well if you need a refresher on what is actually involved in the course. What I will add is, just so you're aware, if you are supporting with this in any capacity at the building level, the teachers will need to take the pre-test before they actually begin the modules, and that's 30 minutes. And before you can do that, everybody needs to be enrolled in the course individually. So even if your district ended up pulling everybody together in a big room, or even if you end up doing this in a TDT, and somebody's projecting it up on the screen, which is how we went through FIP modules years and years ago in the district I was in, you still need people to be on their devices at the same time with it on mute so that they get credit for going through that module and through the course. And there are going to be quizzes kind of at intervals in between each section within each module that also kind of serve as gatekeeping mechanisms. So again, before you can even begin the course, everybody needs to be in, make sure they know how to log into their account. Again, it's the same account that we use for renewing our licenses. but you need to know your username and password, and then you actually have to get enrolled in the course. What I don't want to happen is for districts to come together to do this big training in a big auditorium or in a big cafeteria, and then you realize, wow, like 50% of our people actually aren't enrolled, and then you've got to take the time for that when it's going to take about 6 hours to get through, units 1 through 4 anyway. So just a little side note there, but again, the directions are in the document. If you have any questions, reach out to Jen, reach out to me, reach out to your Tri-County partners. We're all happy to help. We've been in the course getting started ourselves. So we had kind of a flipped model for facilitation where we went through the facilitation first and we just got access to all of those modules just like you all. So we're working through them. It's a pretty seamless process and it's a pretty high quality free training. So even if you've been through letters, it's a great tool to go back through with teachers to take this work deeper or, just review some of these concepts even. But if you want to check out those 2 documents, it'll walk you through the process. I also linked that third link, Ohio's Dyslexia Guidebook, just keeping that sort of at our fingertips so you can see how this all intersects and what is involved in the next couple of years as we walk this forward. And then across the bottom, you'll just see a couple different resources that I wanted you to be able to take a look at. Matt, if I could have you click on the National Center for Improving Literacy's website. I do want you guys to see what is here. So they just put out some resources in October for Dyslexia Awareness Month. So you'll see videos here. There are infographics and information sheets. There are toolkits for implementation. You can see even as Matt's scrolling, there's tools. There are like stories. There's a lot of different things. And if you click across the top too, you'll find more resources if you click on for schools and districts, tools and resources. So you'll want to kind of hop around on this website. It has a lot of really great, I think, information sheets and tools for us to move this work forward as well. So everything's free. It is from a research institution. I highly recommend checking it out. The middle link here just takes you to that website that is from ODE, where they continue to fold in their links around dyslexia legislation and the guidebook and all of those things. And just checking the chat for a second.
I was just sorry.
Okay. And then I also linked the International Dyslexia Association site here too. Another helpful thing, if this is new to you, if it's out of your comfort zone, leading some of this work in this time, there are some really great fact sheets here. And Matt, if you could click that one as well, I just want them to sort of see what this looks like.
Absolutely.
So you'll see, there are some things here about accommodations, some things that are specific to students who also have ADHD and dyslexia. We have some things here about twice exceptional kiddos, students who are English learners who also have dyslexia. You'll see some basic things on structured literacy. That might be helpful as we're making some of these shifts. So a wide range of resources are here at your fingertips. So things about assessment. I just wanted to make sure that you knew a good place to go and get some palatable, kind of quick guides to share with others or to deepen your own knowledge in these areas. So I guess before I go on to the next page, I'll just stop and pause and ask if anybody has any questions about the resources that I've shared or any tools that you found helpful as you've navigated this work. Feel free to put something in the chat too if you don't feel like you want to unmute.
Amanda, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm actually meeting with our curriculum director later today to try to map out how we're going to do this. If we are looking for like a facilitation guide of sorts, is that available to us or is that only with you and Jen?
You only have access to the facilitation guide through a facilitator. So in our county, in Stark County, That's Janelle Rodacher and myself. Jen Griffin is a regional facilitator. There are facilitators in Tri-County as well. I see that some of our Tri-County friends have joined. Andrew, can you clarify, because I can't recall off the top of my head, are Beth and Jennifer facilitators?
Hey, Amanda, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question? We're having some technical difficulties here on our end.
Oh, no problem. I was just asking if you guys could clarify who in Tri-County is trained to facilitate the dyslexia face-to-face trainings.
Oh, the three of us are, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, great. So if you're from Tri-County, you can reach out to the three of them. From Stark County, you could reach out to Jen or I, or work through Janelle as well. But yeah, we can share the facilitation guide if you are not working with a trained facilitator. Just so you're all aware too, I did have conversations about this. I know you all have slightly different entry points with this work, involvement with this work. So, you know, it's going to depend on what your curriculum directors and your principals are asking you to do, right, as you're supporting this. But what we've been talking about is that there are 11 modules, and it's going to take about 3 days to get through them, ultimately. To get through just units 1 through 4 is about 6 hours, including that 30-minute assessment. And then the next training, if you were just doing, I'm trying to look at my resource here. If you were looking at, let's say, units 5 through 7, that's about another 6.5 hours of trainings that's just computer-based. And then modules 8 through 11 are another 5.5 hours, and that includes the half-hour post-test. So you're really looking at spending, 18 hours, about 3 days, working through those modules. Again, your district might choose to have people do it independently. You might do it in TBTs. You might pull people together in a room and display it and stop and have some brief conversations if you want to, but you won't have that facilitation guide. If you decide to work with a facilitator and your district makes that choice, and they mention that to you, we will provide additional conversations. We will look at case studies. We will be working with actual instructional strategies, doing some hands-on, lessons and application. So that's what you gain from working with a facilitator. Does that answer your question, Alicia? I kind of elaborated a little bit.
Yeah, I guess you had mentioned something about possibly doing that at the end of all the things. Is that still your thought as how you're going to be able to feasibly cover everybody?
I would be happy to have that conversation with you more one-on-one, Alicia, mainly because depending on the district, you would be partnering potentially with different people, and the plan might look a little bit different. Like, we're trying to sort of meet people where they are and give some flexible options.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy to answer that if you want to give me a call at another time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And that offer stands for anybody. Reach out to all of us. If you are involved in this work as a coach, have your CDs, your principals, or, reach out to us yourself if you have questions. We're happy to share what our options are at this point and what we can maybe extend beyond that. Are there any other questions before we move on? The modules are, can you clarify your question, Holly? I know you said you've been in and out. I don't think I understand your question. Are you saying, so if you are in letters counts, okay, for PD, and you're good. If you have not done letters, this is a great free option, right, to get through and be compliant for K1 by the end of the year. It is just K1 and intervention specialists who support K1. We'd love to have principals obviously come alongside as well. I would say though, again, if you've been through letters, it's a great refresh to go back through this. You'll see some different things. There's a little bit more on MTSS and structured literacy and dyslexia and some additional resources as well that you don't get in letters. So it's a great tool to have at your fingertips as well for PD. Okay. So on the next slide, I want to just briefly talk a little bit about in light of all of this, how do we determine if what we're doing is under the structured literacy umbrella? So we are sort of making adjustments along the way, right? We have been for the last several years. And some of us have new curriculum adoption. Some people are looking at new curriculum. Others are using what we have and making tweaks, right? We're at all different points of the journey. So I want to give you a couple tools on the next slide that might be helpful and that you could share with, again, your CDs, your principals, your other colleagues as you see fit here. The first resource here sort of addresses the question of, are there gaps in our knowledge? So as educators, these are called the Knowledge and Practice Standards for Teachers of Reading. And this might be something that you could use as a self-assessment. You could create questions around some of this, or just think about your building and where you've been and what things have been covered in PD that you've been through. So for example, if you've been through letters, you could look through this and think like, what is pretty solid for our building? Where do we still have work to do? And it could help you with planning professional development or thinking about where some of those coaching needs are. So I wanted to share that. It can be sort of an auditing tool for you in an area or a tool for professional growth. I also wanted to mention that along with that, Reading Rockets has a free course as well that is not locked down in the same way that our dyslexia course is. It's free. It's called Reading 101. And once I turn the floor over to Matt, I'll dump that into the chat. But it's Reading 101 is broken into several modules that are similar in structure, and it would be a great tool to pull select videos from. There's case studies, there's little blurbs that you might be able to use in your PD or in your coaching as well. And it aligns really well with those knowledge and practice standards. So if you find on that list that there are a couple areas you want to beef it up and strengthen, fix that. That could be another tool you could use that is aligned. It also would help people study if they are going through, the certification process in these coming years to study for that CRE assessment for certification. So that's just another extra bonus. All right. So then the second resource here is evaluating, are there gaps in our program? So if you're a curriculum director, you can see here, I know there are some curriculum folks in here. This is a tool that would be helpful as you're deciding upon an adoption that's aligned with the science of reading. It's sort of a layer on top of some of the other things we've done. It's kind of a last check of, does this align with structured literacy? As coaches, I think this can be really helpful because you can look at the curriculum you have and identify areas that are pretty strong, and then look at areas that might need to be tweaked or strengthened or refined. So I think from a coaching lens, you could look at this document and ask some of those kinds of questions. Where could we align this better with what we've learned in letters or in this Ohio course or in our other professional conversations and learning around this? And then the third resource here looks more at gaps in our practices and trying to see, are we engaging in practices that are aligned with evidence, right? With those ESSA tiers, with empirical findings. And so this is just the foundational K3 document. You'll notice on the page that I sent you to, at the very top there where you see the little cover, there's a summary document that's a brief overview of what you find, and then there's a full guide that elaborates on these strategies and the studies and so forth. I just linked one of the IES practice guides here, but if you click around on the website, you can find a lot of other IES practice guides that are helpful for teaching math and reading at the secondary level and lots of other things. So I just wanted to remind you that those are great resources too as you're coaching and trying to develop some plans and share strategies with others. All right. friends at Tri-County, Andrew and Beth and Jennifer, is there anything you want to add around dyslexia? I saw Andrew, you put something in the chat. I want to give you a chance to jump in here.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that all of our schools knew that we've been collaborating with your curriculum directors in identifying what your needs specifically are and planning for our next steps. So if you do have specific questions, you can, with regard to the dyslexia training piece, you can definitely either reach out to any one of us or check with your curriculum director, because we have been in contact with them. We actually met with them just 2 days ago and really went a little bit more in depth with this as well. So just so you're aware, yeah, and actually we met with the elementary principals. That's why we're getting on late here today. We just finished up a meeting with the elementary principals going over this as well. So if you have questions, don't hesitate. Don't feel like you're alone and on an island, okay?
Yep, and I think just kind of piggybacking off of Andrew's comment, we're all fanning out, right? So you're going to have some support coming from SST, depending on, your school's designation and the level of support that you receive from SST already. And then both ESCs are having those conversations with your leaders and kind of charting the path forward, but we want you to be partners in this too, because we know that you're the ones who are going to help with implementation once people are through the course. So that's super important. The trainings are great, the knowledge is important, but what matters is what we do with it, right? And how we're coaching around that, providing support for everybody. So we are excited to continue to have these conversations and partner with you in the future. I think that's it, unless anybody has another question. If questions arise, reach out to myself, reach out to Tri-County friends if you're in Tri-County or other friends over here. We appreciate you guys.
All right, let's make our way into our next section. You've heard enough of us talking. It's now time for you to get talking. We're going to do some breakouts. Based on the number of people that we have on our call right now, I'm thinking 3 breakouts. Or 3 breakout groups.
I had 5, is that all right? I had a big group,
Yes,
about
please.
3 or 4.
That's even better, even better. So 3 different questions. If you saw the email from yesterday, this was your homework. If you didn't quite get around to it, that's okay. We are just happy to set up the opportunity for you guys to talk. So in our first breakout, we'll do, how about like 7 minutes, Amanda? So I just kind of frame these as show and tell. So hopefully you will have something to share as well as hear from your other friends. The first question is, now that the school year is well underway, share 1 success area and 1 area of improvement for next year. That way you can kind of use this as like a placeholder for when the next school year comes around. This is something that I definitely want to revisit, and this is something that I know I want to tweak as I start my year. So take 60 to 90 seconds to share yours. Friends who are in that breakout, give about 30 seconds to respond, and then, like I said, squirrel away those ideas for next year's rollout. You'll notice that there is a Jamboard waiting for you, and I'll just jump over to that real quick. On this Jam, you can put anything that you want to on the following slide. So on slide 2 or Jam 2, it says share at least 1 success. And then on 3, it says share at least 1 area that you may improve. So to do that, just come over here and grab one of these sticky notes, and then you can put it over into that workspace area. Okay? So go ahead, Amanda, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I'm noticing like some people's names are grayed out here as I put them in breakout rooms. So I'm not sure for sure if you're gonna have somebody there present across the screen from you. If for some reason you're sitting there and nobody's engaging, hop back out to the main room and we can put you in another breakout room, okay? Just in case, as a contingency plan. All right.
Sounds good.
I will send you all on your merry way. We'll see you in about 7 minutes.
See ya. All right, welcome back, everybody. If you have not had a chance to do so yet, make sure that you're clicking on this link here and add or post it to our page. If you were noticing as well down on the bottoms of this slide, I have a link for you for Jamboard templates. This is from TCEA. This is a wild compilation of Jamboard templates that are ready to go for you and for any teacher in the district. This list has over 1,200 different templates. It's massive, but there's a little something for everybody. So if you wanted to, you can check that out. Like I said, it breaks it up by content, it breaks it up by what you're looking to do, and they are ready-made and ready to go for you. So as you're looking at our slide, this little icon right here is for Jamboard, and when you select it, it will take you over to our Jam. So you'll notice there's 3 different slides there. The first of which is just kind of like a placeholder. The second one allows you to share that success story that you may have been discussing. And then the third one there is that area of improvement. So totally anonymous, put those up there if you'd like to share with the group. And hopefully that was a good opportunity for you to share out with some friends. Okay, we are going to go into our second breakout. Same setup as before, so we'll break you up into different groups. I think we're going to try and randomize you this time, so hopefully there's some fresh people in this breakout. Same deal, 60 to 90 seconds per person. Share about how and where you compile and also communicate your resources. So I know, like, I have a couple different places, a couple different websites that I curate that I put up all of my things. For some of you, it may be a website, it may be a document, it may be something else, but how do people in your district or the people in your buildings that you work with, how do they find your stuff? Okay, so have that conversation. You can add those to this doc. So if you select that Google Doc down here at the bottom, it will pop up this shared document that you should be able to edit and access. You'll notice that I popped a whole bunch of different ones in here. Just jump on any of the lines that you want to, that you see as blank. If you want to type in a little response, you can. You can pop in a description. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's a website and you want to share a link just so that way others can, see how you are working on your things or how you share those things. But feel free to pop those in and have that conversation with your group members. Okay. Same deal, about 5-7 minutes or so, and we will see you back in just a few. So just because I knew people were still populating, I want to come back and revisit this slide here, just to share your successes. I saw the blue posted in the middle. It says positive coaching culture is back, baby. Love that. Also implementing new curriculums. Getting into classrooms, which I'm sure we all missed very dearly over the last couple of years. Ongoing PD with full staff, that's really great. So definitely wanted to celebrate those successes. And then here on the improvement area, I just kind of wanted to point out that you're not alone. I can see 3 different items here that, are pretty similar. Just know that, that's the whole reason why you come to these meetings. We are all feeling the same things. We are all having those same conversations. So please use, the goodwill of your friends in this call to collaborate and to bounce ideas and to kind of ease that burden. Like I said, since we are all kind of doing that same thing. If you haven't had a chance to yet, make your way over to this document. Again, you can just click that blue Google Docs icon on the slide, and that will take you here to this doc. I do have one request though, if you wouldn't mind. Again, totally up to you, doesn't matter to me if you put it, but we would love to know who these things are coming from. So replace where it says like response 1, response 3, 4, replace that with a name or with a district. For example, I'm going to be super nosy, and I'm going to put our friends from Northwest on the spot. They shared this amazing website with amazing tools, including a brand new podcast that they started up for this year, empowering educators on Erie Avenue. So shout out to our friends in Northwest. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of our friends here on the call. So like I said, this is an ongoing resource for you. Please make sure that you're checking out some of the things or some of the ideas that have been shared on that doc. Okay, so we'll have one more breakout here. I think we're gonna make this one a little bit shorter, just given the amount of time. So maybe like 3 minutes, quick round robin. There is a Jamboard for this one as well. So go ahead and select that Jamboard icon and that'll jump you over to the jam for this one. We all have prized acorns in our arsenal, just like our squirrel friend on this slide. What is an asset that you have found, that you've created, or that you use that helps you with your job? So something fun, something that helps you out. I put on there, just the season of giving, but also receiving. So be kind to your coaching friends here, and let's share up some good stuff. So like you said, about 3 minutes. Hopefully you will see some fresh faces, or at least we'll have at least one new face in your room, and we will see you in about 3 minutes. Once again, welcome back, everybody. If you haven't done so already, you'll notice that there are different slides for each breakout group. So if you wanted to add your fun thing, grab a Post-it note and put it on to the page for your breakout group. And even if you don't remember what number you're in, really doesn't matter. Just pop it in there on slide 1 and everybody will see it. Hopefully you've noticed too at the bottom of our breakout slides, there are little tips or little ideas for you as you are trying to do some of these things, or you may want to do some of these things for your teachers or for students that you work with. For example, on that last one, it says consider making custom templates for your docs in your domain. That was an example of a doc that I made for our domain here at the Stark ESC. In the template gallery, then those are openly accessible by everyone within apps.spark.org email, which is really fun. So you don't necessarily have to rely on the versions that are made for you by Google. You can go in and make your own and share them. And then here, obviously, you have talked about and have had some really fun things shared with you. One of the things that I do that I can't necessarily show here because it's just showing the slide and it won't show you my menu bar, is to make bookmarks for you to organize those common tasks. So as an example, I do a lot of like photo editing, video editing here in our office, and I have a bookmark folder that just says photos. And so I know anytime I need to do any of those, behind the scenes wizarding tricks, all of my websites, all of my tools are in that photo folder. I know how to easily find them instead of having this huge laundry list of bookmarks. So you might want to think about being creative in that sense to help organize your life. All right. With the remaining time, we're not going to spend too much because I definitely respect your time. We want to get you out of here at noon. We have holiday gifts for you as well. Like I said, this is obviously the time of giving, but you as wonderful coaches in your district should also be receiving some fun things too, which brings me to the gifts of the Magi. The original 3 wise men had gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Today I have for you bold, making sense, and then Cardi B does that chirp thingy, and it's kind of like occur, and it kind of sounded like myrrh, so here we are. I have a t-shirt in my desk if someone unmutes and does the occur chirp like Cardi B.
It's not going to be me because this was totally new to me a couple days ago when I put it up. I am not up on the pop culture.
No one wants a free t-shirt. My goodness. All right, that's fine. It's like a chirp, like how she does it. I don't know. You have to look it up. But anyway, we have good things for you. The first of which is Canva. If you are not a Canva user, look at the bottom of this slide. It says get started and get verified. Please do that now. It has all kinds of authentic things for you to use. So you don't have to create these workarounds, in like slides or drawing or whatever. Like this is an actual tool that people are using in the real world. So I wanted to direct you to a couple different areas. The first of which is some creative whiteboards. So you can see things for planning, for teams, for brainstorming, for flowcharts, some items that are curated for you for communication, all kinds of important things from infographics all the way down to meme generators if you're trying to, make some people laugh. And then if you are totally unfamiliar with this, check out their design school for educators. It is excellent. I have the benefit of having a graphic designer wife who is wonderful and unbelievably talented. I am not either of those things. But I know that through this design school, I can get that help and I can get that, that knowledge base to make really cool designs. So if you're not a Canva user yet, check out all those templates, check out that design school, and definitely sign up and get verified.
I want to add one thing just briefly too. I had signed up for Canva in the past, which is their base free account. You definitely want to use your educator email when you're signing up. You just get access to so many more templates. So just on the off chance that you used a personal email and you don't have that educator access, it is 100% worth, re-enrolling and signing up for another account, because I feel like I have so many more options now at my fingertips.
Tons. And the link that I sent you to will actually be like the verification page. So I think you either have to send in a copy of your badge. You can even do like your teaching certificate as verification that you're an educator. So lots of different ways that you can make that happen. For Making Sense, I have Kami. Kami is a wonderful tool. Full disclosure, I'm an ambassador for them. So I'm already in the bag as somebody who loves this product. If you have not used Kami before, use that link down at the bottom. It gives you 5 months of complete access to all of their tools. It is basically a tool that allows you to manipulate and work with all kinds of files, including everything on your Google Drive. You can do like PDFs on there, which is really unique. So a lot of times people think that PDFs are sacred and they can't be modified in any way. Kami helps you to modify those. You can also do modifications with JPEGs and all kinds of good stuff. So sent you to the template gallery so you can check those out a little bit more. And then just like we did there with Canva a moment ago, they have their own learning space. So there's a one-stop shop for everything that you might want to do as you are learning with Kami. So definitely check that resource out as well and sign up using that link. If you were to sign up without it, it's just like, I think a couple weeks maybe. But like I said, since I'm an ambassador, they basically give me like a private link where if you use that, then you'll get 5 months of complete access. Okay. And last, I'll still offer it again. I saw some people talking in the chat about it. If I won't do the per part, Holly, I think really wants to unmute and do it because I'm not really sure what she's talking about, but I think she will probably do it for us if she were to unmute. But for our last section, I have TinyWow. TinyWow is just a wonderful place. You can see in that GIF how it keeps rotating and there's tools for, more and more and more. Basically, the people who created TinyWow said, well, we know how to do this thing over here, and we know how to do this thing over here, but like, it would be nice if all of those were in one place. And so all of these little doodads, all of these little widgets are located in one place that's called TinyWow. So if you wanted to, you could access all the little widgets here on their main page. You can also do those or find those little tools and tricks up top here along the menu as well. So I was talking a moment ago about like my photo editing bookmarks folder. This is in there because it allows me to remove the background from photos, to merge, different things, to compress files, to every other little tiny doodad that you could possibly think of. They are all here. So TinyWow has been a frequent visit for me here as of late, especially. So 3 different things for you that hopefully will either be good for your own use or for you to share with the teachers that you work with. Okay. A few things as we wrap up. I know I'm 2 minutes over time, so I apologize for that. We have 3 more meetings coming up this year in January, in March, in May. If you click those little icons, it will allow you to add those events to your calendar. But we are very much looking forward to seeing you at those meetings. And lastly, if you click the exit word there in the bottom, and I know Amanda just tossed it into the chat as well, we have an exit ticket waiting for you if you wouldn't mind filling that out. We would greatly appreciate it. As always, we will be the last ones on the call. So if you need anything, we will be here and we're more than happy to chat with you. So until we see you again, hopefully you have a good holiday season. Like I said, don't let this be like okay, I don't need to talk to these people again until January. Hop into the Google group, ask your questions, make those connections, and then check those resources that we were working on today for some new ideas and some things that you might be able to work on. Okay? All right, it was great to see everybody. Thanks for being here. We will see you formally in January. See you then.
Bye, everyone.